Hello there everybody, this is Kristen. Welcome back to the Krista Chronicles, and today we are back onto the deck declutter series we got going on. Today I am not prepared, as I was for the last two. What are we on, part 4? Because I was going through and kind of comparing each deck to a deck that I have and really love, that I think maybe fills the same space. I don't know, didn't feel like thinking about that today. And so while I am pulling them out, we might do it more like the first one, where as I go, I might grab some decks. I don't know. That sounds a little chaotic, but I kind of just wanted to, there's still quite a bit in just the bin where I initially went around and grabbed what I think I wanted to kind of think about. And I really just want to get through that because I don't know. I might do a full deck collection. I don't want to promise that though, because that sounds a little overwhelming. I'd like to do that, but I need to get through these first. You know what I mean? So let's just get right into it. Actually, the first two are ones that I'm really kind of unsure about. The first one, we've got the Witchfolk Tarot. Oh, we should definitely zoom in. This is a very interesting deck. I do like the witchy feel of it. Now this is a first edition one. This is from Dark Sniver. Yeah, I don't think I'm saying that right. But I don't know if this is the case anymore, but when I was purchasing this, and I think I maybe had one other deck by them, how they kind of work it is very interesting, where this first edition is like a linen texture at the very least, and then on their website they sell what looks like this, but then it comes and it is not this linen texture. It's, for lack of better words, it almost looks like a bootlegged copy of it. But I went back and forth with them, and it's not. That's just, they said that's just like, they do a first edition with this sort of quality, and then for whatever reason, the other ones, once they run out of these, they then do it a different quality. I don't quite understand that. So I originally had like a second edition or something of the sort, and I didn't like it because the cardstock was very strange, and the border situation was strange. So then I got my hands on a first edition, and I definitely like that a lot better. But it's a strange, strange deck where it does not follow... To me, it does not really seem to follow any sort of tarot structure almost at all. So it's one I really need to get into the guidebook for to understand, which I'm not against, but I think sometimes it feels, the way it's even written is confusing to me. And so, I don't know. But I do like the whole vibe of this deck. I don't love these kinds of cards where it's just this, like, geometric thing going on. See, something like the Knave of Cups, like what does that mean? What am I looking at? Where then you get pictures like this. I don't know. It's very strange. But like, oh, see, I love some of this art, but then that's weird. I feel like it's one, whenever I use it, I'm always like, what? And what can I compare this to? Actually, I have an idea in my head because of that witchy thing. Yes, okay. I feel like I can compare it to the Age of Witchery Tarot, which I really like. And another one that has that sort of like folkloric, a little bit strange, witchy feel to it. I mean, they're very different. I guess the question is, do I need both? I guess they kind of fit different seasons. This one actually almost feels to me very wintry. Which actually, I don't know that I've ever, like, kind of utilized it in the winter months. Makes me kind of want to do that and see. You know, I think these are kind of different. I think with this Witch Folk Tarot, I might see, and then, okay, I think it's a translation thing, because it says Witch Folk on the box, but then the guidebook says Folk Witch. I think it's one where maybe I need to just give it another solid shot, like put it in a deck edit or something, see how it reads, with the intent of me really kind of looking at it in terms of, does this read well for me? I think that sounds like a good idea, because I don't know, there's something about it. I love that folk art kind of style, and this really has that. And so I think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe put it into one of my winter deck edits and see. Okay, great. Next up, I'm not gonna get rid of this one. Like, what am I thinking? I have the Insecta Obscura Tarot. This is by Laura. I love her decks so much. I think there is truly a singular one I don't have, and it's only because it's a Lenormand, and I don't use a Lenormand a ton, and I already have 2 of hers. So we've got a square deck, and it is an insect deck, so each card has its own insect. I love her art style so much. I think I just don't really use this because I don't really ever find a reason to use an insect deck. I don't know. I don't really know why, because it is so beautiful. I think the thing too is, like, I don't really know where this fits seasonally, because the dark background and the deeper, like, jewel tones to me feels more fall winter, but insects are around in the spring and summer, so I don't know. And so I think it just gets lost in the shuffle because of that. But it is cool. It's well researched. There's info on all of the insects in the guidebook. Like, that's cool. No, what am I kidding? I feel like at this point I'm just like, I collect the Laura decks. She's staying. I think it's just, perhaps I need to also, I'm more willing to let go of the subject hang-up I have than I am the, like, vibe of it, because to me this feels very fall winter. I think I just need to let go of the idea of, like, well, insects are around in the summer, and just use it. I think that's what needs to happen. Okay, next up, the Magical Hours Tarot. This is a newer one, and I have a full walkthrough on this, and I was really excited about this one when I first was going through it, because I think the concept is so cool. It really is, and it is beautiful. I think it's an art style that's not for me, honestly. I think that's all it comes down to, and so even though I don't have something that does quite the same thing of using the idea of different times of day like this, I do feel like it fits in a similar slot as some decks that I have and already don't use a ton, like the, should we get it? Oh, it's right there. Yes, let's do that. What is it called? Dream something? think it's, oh, Dreamkeepers. The Dreamkeepers Tarot. I feel like, let's, actually, I'm curious. Let's see it side by side before I continue comparing them out loud. Yeah, I think these feel like they fit in a similar realm for me, and I do really like the Dreamkeepers. This was new to me last year, and so I don't have like a ton of time under my belt using it, but since a deck with real photographed people in it is not typically my thing, I do need to be careful to not kind of, or not that I have to, I like to be careful to not accumulate so many, so that way when on those occasions where I'm like, yes, that's what I want, there's not so many to choose from, you know what I mean? And I feel like the Dreamkeepers already butts up against Tarot of Mystical Moments just a little bit for me. And so it's like those are just different enough where I can, having both is somewhat fine in my brain. But then adding this one where it feels like it's in that as well, I'm like, no, there's already two in this category I've made in my brain. Cannot have more than that. Oh, I'm glad I put these side by side. They are starting to feel very similar. Even look at that. Like, yeah. Oh, we both, it's 2 6 of Wands. That's cool. Alright. No, that pretty much solidifies it. I just don't love it enough to justify keeping it. As fun as it was to unbox it and really explore that, I don't think it was meant to kind of stick around long term. So Magical Hours is gonna go, she's gonna go to the timeout. And I'm excited to bring Dreamkeepers back out. It feels like we're getting to that time of year. Okay. Yes, I'm like, hopefully it's not a super annoying, the little pauses to go grab the deck, but I feel like I just like this better. This feels, I just like talking the whole process through. And then when I like pick pairs, I'm forced to kind of like do it, well, just out loud to myself or in my head. And that's no fun to me. Okay. This is an interesting duo. So I've got here the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine and the Wisdom of the Shadow. Combined with a big I don't know. I was really excited about this duo whenever it first came out and used it a few times when I got it, and then it has just kind of sat. And I don't know what it is. And of course, like, they're a duo in my brain, and so I think what I want to see here is, like, is that how it has to be? I mean, obviously the answer is no, but is that, like, do I like one a lot if I think about, like, separating them? Not using them together? I don't know, but then it's like, when you look at them side by side, they do create these really interesting readings. I don't know if it's like readings that maybe I just... Here's the thing. I feel like this kind of... I feel like this really full year, it's been very rare that I set out to do any sort of... I'm gonna call it like a special reading. I do my morning reading every single day, and doing anything beyond that just, I don't know, hasn't been happening. And so this feels like a special reading kind of duo, and I just haven't been doing that. But that's not to say that I'm never going to do that. Like, that's cool. Like, expression and dependency. That's something to think about. Yeah, see, whenever I do pull them out side by side, I'm like, no, that's beauty and sadness. Ugh. It is really interesting. I think this art style isn't super, super me either. But that doesn't mean, I don't know. Power and soul care blossoming and look at this. It almost looks like it could be the same figure. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. They really are interesting pulling them together. Ease and shame. Again, like the... Okay. A compassionate inner child. No. No, no. I feel like these need to stick around. That's so good. I just need to kind of... Maybe that could be like a goal for 2026, is to just do more readings that aren't just my everyday. Which I've kind of already started somewhat challenging myself with by doing the Two of Moms deck collector club. Like that I feel like has been getting me out of my usual routine. Adding some extra readings in, which has been nice. So maybe like something like this can slot in that way. But they're staying. They're staying. Okay. Well. Interesting. I guess we got to the ones where we've not had much success with that. Alright, let's get into this. This is the Wild Unknown Alchemy, which again is very cool. I do not like the shape. Very, very, very unwieldy. And honestly, on the topic, I can't say I currently care a whole ton about. And in my brain, I sort of combine the Wild Unknown decks. And right now, since I've got that pocket archetypes I'm really enjoying, I'm never going to choose this one because I don't really understand the topic, or the archetypes makes a little bit more sense to me. I think maybe if they were to come out with a pocket version of this one, I would be intrigued. But for right now, it's rather unwieldy. It's not an art style that I go to a ton to begin with. It's not my favorite thing in the whole world. And yeah, I just can't say I'm super intrigued by this idea of alchemy, which could change. But as of right now, I'm not interested enough to get over the fact that it's like it's just hard to use. It really is hard to use. And I feel like visually, just the vibe of it, not the topic, the vibe. I've got some other decks that fit kind of the same feel that I'd rather focus on, like for whatever reason. When Olga Speaks, the When Olga Speaks Oracle has a similar vibe to this to me, and I would much rather spend time with that one. So yeah, I think this one, I'm good on this one. It was interesting to try it out, but it's just been sitting. So, Wild Unknown Alchemy. She's gonna go. Okay, I feel good about that. The Mists of Avalon Oracle. This one gets into this pile every single time I do it. And I think I just need to take that for what it is. And, well, let's look at it. But I want to say the only reason I've really held on to it is because I just love the art. But it's not very practical. I don't, like, the 4 different keywords don't feel super, super connected to me. like guardians, protection, nature's magic, playfulness. Like, where, what do I do there? I don't know. Oh, wait, but I am now having the thought, though, of it would be cool to have this as a center card and pull a card for each keyword. Oh. Huh. Wait a second. That could be, no, oh gosh. Like, truly, every time I'm like, no, let's hold on to it, and then I still don't use it. But wouldn't that be interesting? It kind of would. Because I don't have the I just want it for the artwork excuse necessarily anymore, because this is by Nadia Turner, or, you know, the artist, and she illustrated the Bee Tarot, which I love so much. So I've got things with her art, and I do have the little, like, pocket fairy deck. What do I think? But it could be kind of like a spread creator, couldn't it? Like this one I'm thinking, like, self-knowledge, like what do I already know about myself? What is still a mystery? A message from the goddess, and maybe from the other world? I don't know. Maybe that's just something I need to try to get it out of my system. Okay, we're gonna keep this deck out. We're gonna try doing that. And if it doesn't work, then, well, I don't know, because at the same time, sometimes there's decks where it's like I hold on to them, and I don't know why I feel this pull to just hold on to them. This is one of those decks. And then eventually, the reason comes around. Like, I joined Two of Mom's Tarot this week for Future Ancestors, which I think came up in my first declutter. And that's another one where it's like I've been holding on to it because I just can't seem to let it go. Even though in my brain I'm like, no, I think it can go. And then I did this deck connectors club and I'm like, oh no. Yeah, I get it now. I really like this deck. It just needed that moment. And so that could be what's going on with this, but regardless, I think the spread idea would be interesting. So I want to try that. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, this is kind of a tough one too. We've got Maxine Gadd's Zoologica Steampunk Oracle. Now I do like this one. It is really fun with the Steampunk Fairy. I think I'm saying that right. Tarot. But it's one that, like, other than putting it with that, I'm kind of like, well, like, it's fine. And I have so many animal oracles. That's also a thing of, okay, but does this do it as well as my other animal oracles? And I just don't think it does. I don't think it's as versatile. And I'm not against keeping a deck because it pairs so well with truly, like, one other deck, but I just don't know if I need to do that with this one. Although that's so cute. And that, oh, that's cute too. I don't really get excited to use this really at all. Where I get excited to use the Steampunk Fairy, but for whatever reason, like, this doesn't bring me, as cute as it is, oh my gosh. I don't know. I think the thing is, well, the style works, I don't think it gives me what I want from an animal deck. And with as many animal oracles as I have, there's no need to, you know, keep around one that isn't doing the job. As cool as I think it is, I really do, but I just don't think it's one I need. Or want, because none, I mean, need is a funny word, but I like to use it loosely. So I don't think I really need this one. Zoologica. Should we just power through? Oof. I don't know. We'll see. This is a Barbara Walker. This is one of the... It's not... Well, clearly it's not the... Is it tinned? The one now? I don't know. It's a vintage one. I don't know. I feel like she's kind of mean. And not to say that there isn't a place for mean, but I don't know. The energy it gives off, I just don't know how I feel about it. And if I need it, really. Sometimes to me I feel like it gives off mean in a bit of a condescending way. And that is an energy I don't love inviting. Like it really, it's a lot. It really is a lot. But at the same time, it is kind of a cool, I don't know, I guess you could say like historical piece. It's not taking up a lot of space. And so I feel like I could also just keep this on the shelf with like my Hermetic Tarot and my Thoth Tarot that I don't really use, but I don't know, they're just kind of fun to have. Maybe that's what we could do, because who knows, maybe someday it'll find its purpose. And I didn't really pay much for this copy, but I know sometimes they can be pricey, and so I don't think I'd want to give this up, because it is like perfectly broken in. And I do have the full book, not the hard copy, but the ebook. I don't know. I just feel like she's kind of mean. In a way that I don't find constructive currently. But maybe someday I will. I think we are going to hold on to this just as like a part of my collection of kind of tarot history. But I'm just gonna take off the expectation to necessarily utilize it. I think that sounds good. I do also love this bag I made. It's so simple, but like the match is perfect. That pleases me. Okay. The Flow Tarot. Oh, it's good. It's good. I love the color I edged it in. Yes. Love those backs. But this is just not something I'm going to use. It isn't. I had a good time with it when I first got it. It was really fun to explore, but I don't have like a single ounce of water in my astrological chart at all. Which, on one hand, I'm like, I think, it's interesting to bring in very watery decks as a way to, I don't know, just bring that energy into my life. But at the same time, watery things I do not inherently find joy in. Like I always say, I'm not a beach person. I like to swim, but I like to swim in pools. I don't like to swim in the ocean. I don't like to swim in a lake. If I cannot see the bottom, I do not want to get into it. You know what I mean? It's just not my thing. And I don't live near a beach. I used to. Growing up, I did. On Long Island. I feel like that's unavoidable, but yeah, I don't know. This just doesn't feel like an energy I need. Not to say again that I do think it is worthwhile for me to bring in watery decks, since that is an energy that I do not have supernaturally, especially because when you think of water, you think of delving into the emotional realms. That is something that's challenging for me. So I find it worthwhile. Let me think, though, because I feel like I do have other watery decks that leads me to believe I don't super, like, this isn't necessary to hold on to. What would that be? What was I just thinking? And I'm thinking literal here, not like metaphorical. Oh, okay, wait. Here's one. This is the Story Medicine, seaweed something? Seaweed? I call it seaweed because there's seaweed on the back. That could be its actual name, I don't know. But I really like this deck. The whole thing is green, and so I think that makes it a little more approachable for me because I love green. Green is earthy, and my chart is so intensely earth and air that, yes, but mostly earth. That's what I like. And so I think because this is green instead of like super oceany, I'm like, yes, but it does inherently have that wateryness because it's got that, I think it's like Seaweed Sisters. It's got the seaweed theme. It does read very watery to me. It feels like it's getting into that emotional realm. I love that the message is right on the card with these. Yeah, I really like this one. I think there's always a lot to think about with these Story Medicine tarots. And so if I'm wanting to like have a watery deck to get into watery things, I'm gonna go to the Seaweed Sisters. I'm really not gonna go to the Flow Tarot, as beautiful as it is, because I love a tarot with a keyword, and I do think they do a great job in this. I love the Junko. That's so cute. But hold on, let me think too. I've got that like Oceanum, whatever the heck. But where? You know? No, we're not. It's too much. I'm not going to search for that. But I also have that Oceanum Arcanum Tarot, I want to say it is. That is under the sea theme. And what I like about that one, I really like the art style. Taylor Bryn something, I think is the artist. Her artwork is very dark. Like, not thematically, physically dark. She uses a lot of like, what I think is a micron pen to sketch things out, and it gives it this darker feel. But what it does in the ocean deck, it gives it this feeling of like very deep sea. And so I like that as well for the idea of like getting to the emotional depths. It feels like it's getting to that like mysterious realm. So I think the combination of these two, I'm feeling okay on the water decks. So I think Flow Tarot can go. Yeah, I feel good about that. I really don't see the reason I would ever want to pull that one out. Okay, great. Moving along. The Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot. Through truly no fault of its own, I feel like this tarot is really, really cool. 2025 was the year of fairy tale decks for me. And so when I was looking at I could create a mini collection of fairy tale tarots and decks at this point. And when I'm looking at them, I don't think this one is ever going to be one that I'm going to choose over the others, and that is all it comes down to. But I do really like that the majors all have a different story, but that for the minors, each suit has one story and you kind of follow along that story. I do quite enjoy that. I think the art style is good. Each suit also has a plant associated with it, which I think is really interesting and different. But ultimately, I don't see myself going to this one over like the Once Upon a Time Tarot I really like, even though that doesn't really get into fairy tale. The Fairy Tale Tarot by, what is it, Lisa Hunt? Am I getting that right? I really, really like. But otherwise, something I have learned as well is I really think I prefer a Fairy Tale Oracle. Those I feel like I could kind of have like, I could have so many. But I don't super feel a need to have multiple Fairy Tale Tarots, and I really like the Lisa Hunt one, and so I just don't see myself using this. I was holding on to it because it's got that like kind of cuter, cartoony feel, but then I feel like I would use the Once Upon a Time Tarot, which I like because it's a little bit more generic. It doesn't get into specific stories, you know? As beautiful as this is. I do think this is a really cool deck, but the fairy tale decks were just getting a little oversaturated, so that's okay. Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot. Come on, get in there. All right. Steampunk Art Nouveau. Another super pretty one. I just I don't know. I just don't really have a purpose for this one, and outside of that, it just doesn't excite me. And so in my brain, it's got to have a purpose or it's got to excite me, or both. And I don't feel like this one has either, and it truly feels as simple as that. I think it's one that, like, when I pick it up, I just don't get anything from it. And sometimes I can tend to feel that way with Los Scarabeo decks. I have a lot that I really love. Sometimes I can just find them a bit more challenging. I don't know why, but this is beautiful. I just don't really feel any sort of connection to it, nor a desire to make one, you know? So that's a simple one. She's gonna go, the Steampunk Art Nouveau. I try to keep the book in the center so it doesn't get all crinkled. Ooh, the Gentle Chaos Pocket Oracle. This is a really cool one. Oh, and I keep seeing people using this lately, and every time it's so cool. But, oh, like that's neat, that's neat. Wait, oh, it's cool. Do I need it? Like, is this a style I'm ever gonna be looking for? Wait, it's cool. It's cool. I do wish it was all kind of more so like this, like these photographs, instead of having these random ones where that's an illustration. But, I think maybe my issue is what do I pair with this? But now that I pull it out, that's pretty cool. But then like this feels random. And it does need, I love that card. It needs a guidebook with it, which I don't know why I even say that, because I love guidebooks and I love reading them, so that's not an issue for me. But I think maybe sometimes when I've got these pocket decks, I get this idea in my head of like wanting them to be just sort of like you can read them straight out. But this is, wait, oh wait, and it has just a little book with it. What am I saying? She's gonna stay. I think it's kind of cool. If anyone has this, what do you pair with it? I think maybe that's my issue. It's out of my comfort zone, so I don't know what to pair with it. Let a girl know. Okay. Alright. The Venetian Tarot. This has a caveat to it though. I got this used, so excited. Didn't know that this tarot had both a full size and a pocket size. So as you can see, I ended up with the pocket size. And we're going on 2, maybe 3 years now with this deck, and me just every time being like, I just need to get the full size, because I was so sad when I got it because there's so much detail. It's just a card I want big. I want it to be big. And it's so beautiful. But I continue to, because even the pocket was kind of pricey, so it's like, I'm just continuing to hold on to it. To be like, no, I can make the pocket work. And I just need to accept that that's not the truth. I'm really not a pocket deck girly. I like having a few around. And if it's a deck that only comes in pocket size, and I really like it, then I will make it an exception. But if I can get it in full size, I want it in full size, you know? And so that's all there is to this. I need to put it aside, find the full size, and do that swap. Because I think I would really, really enjoy this deck. I think it's very interesting. I like the darkness of it and the theme. Yes, okay. We're gonna put this with the Avalon Oracle as like there's things to do around that. I think we can get through. Let's just get through this whole basket. If I do that today, then I think we can do a deck collection. Let me know if that sounds interesting. It's gonna be a wild ride. There'd be a lot to get through, but I think it'd be helpful. I think Lisa's been doing it, and Thea's been doing it alongside her deck decluttering, but I like how they're making their different categories, and I think that would be helpful for me because I really want to rethink my storage as well. So, there's that. Let's get another pocket deck. The Black Lily Tarot. This is a strange one to me. This is one that I was like back and forth of like, do I buy it? I think this is on Game Crafter. So one time when I was getting something else on Game Crafter, I was like, let's just try it. And I think it's just a little too out there for me. That's not the right thing. I like out there. Maybe it's just, I don't like the way the people are drawn. It's a little uncanny valley sort of thing. Am I using that term right? I don't know. But I also don't really love a ton of people in my decks, and this is a people-y deck when their proportions are done oddly, which kind of freaks me out. And I do not know any occasion where this would be like the one I choose, you know? Yeah, you know what, it was one of those where it's like I needed to have it in my hands to scratch the itch and like figure out why I was curious about it, but I don't think it's ultimately for me, and that's okay. It's as simple as that. We've got the Black Lily Tarot. She's gonna go. Okay. This is one I've had sitting in here, and I actually have found myself thinking about now that, because I've put this basket together weeks ago now. I actually have found myself thinking about being like, I don't think that should go. It's the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery by Robert M. Place. It's the only Robert M. Place deck I have. And it is very esoteric feeling, or it is. That's his whole thing. Which isn't necessarily my thing. But that's not to say it's never my thing. And so I think the reason I put it in here was because sometimes I slot it into the same place as like Pagan Otherworlds. No, maybe that's the end of the list. But then when I like am pulling it out, I'm like, no, it's very different. There's a lot more color. I really, really like his art style. I like the very kind of like lino cut block print feel of the line work. And so it's something where I'm like, but I really would want to have a deck that has his artwork. I'm like, well, but I do. It's right here. And I do think it's interesting. So I think definitely worth keeping around. I don't use my kind of esoteric feeling decks a ton, but I think there is a place for a few of them to coexist, because I think this feels very different than Pagan Otherworlds, and definitely feels, it's much more like leans into the esoteric, for sure. Pagan Otherworlds is more just a vibe. This really has things going on it that I'd like to explore, and you know, maybe someday there's a different Robert M. Place deck that I bring in, and then maybe it'll be this one's time, but for right now, I really like the artwork. I think it's good. Of course it's good. We all know it's good, but like, I find it pleasing to look at. So we're gonna hold on to that. Especially since, again, I've been thinking about it in the weeks since making this basket of like, I don't think I want to actually let that one go. The box doesn't feel like it actually quite fits everything, though. It feels like a squeeze, which makes me nervous. Okay. Ooh. The Dark Goddesses Oracle. I just kind of have a lot of... Do I have a lot? I have had a lot of goddess oracles, and I don't find it's something I go to a lot. Like a deck that has just an array of different pantheons and like a singular goddess on each. I don't find I utilize that kind of deck a lot. This one is beautiful. What do I have that... Okay. Yes. The Dark Goddess Tarot. I feel like if that's something I want, this is where I'm gonna go. Even though it's a tarot, it's one that I still kind of just pull a single card from as if it's an oracle, since I want to get into the story of that goddess. And I just kind of prefer this artwork. That's really all it is. Well, I think this is beautiful. The black and white, it's rare that that really works for me. And so, yeah, that's something I've just come to realize, that I don't really need a ton of goddess decks. I more am leaning towards when a deck goes into a specific pantheon, that I find really interesting, like the Venetian Tarot. But then the few goddess decks I have, I'm good with those. I've got this one, and the other one I really like. Actually, both tarots, which is funny, is the Bestiary of Women. I really like that one as well. And then also Invoking the Goddess. And with those three, like, I feel fulfilled in that arena. I don't really feel like I need more goddess decks, because when I do want to just kind of get a random goddess, that's what I want. That, and well, I've got my own too, the Divine Ephemera, which I like because it mixes both gods and goddesses. So I should say the four, but my brain was specifically on goddess decks, but I think that counts in there as well. So I think this one can go. Ooh, this is a tough one. This one's so cute. The Considerate Cat Tarot. Come on. This I need to take a look at this. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that. The Four of Wands. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, this is cute. I don't go towards, I say this all the time, I don't use cat decks a ton, or historically, I have not. But this is really cute. And it does have, you know what, it kind of has a similar-ish vibe to the Cat Tarot for me, and perhaps that's why I kind of put this in this bin, was because I was like, well, do I need both? But since the Cat Tarot was really Stevie's deck, that deck is now retired and put with, we've got a box of like her favorite things, and so that's sitting on top. And so I actually feel like there is a space for this one now, and it's so, so cute. And wouldn't this be so fun in the spring? It's got the perfect spring colors. Okay, no, she stays. I can't help it. It's too hard to get rid of any sort of cat tarot. And again, now that the Cat Tarot she is retired, I think there is space for the Considerate Cat Tarot. She's gonna stay. Okay, we've got 4 more. Oh my gosh, I'm tired, but 4 would be quite the lame video to follow up, so we're just gonna keep trucking. The Citadel. This is similar to another, I don't know which one it was, but speaking about archetypes, I don't really love archetype decks. I think this is something I've come to realize about myself. Well, this is so beautiful, and I think is a really fun, kind of fantasy feeling deck, I don't feel excited to use it. And I think, again, like I've got that Pocket Archetypes, the Wild Unknown one. I don't know that I need anything outside of that, again, because I do not get excited to use archetypes. I don't know why. I think I just don't like how that I think because when I'm pulling a reading for myself and I'm pulling an archetype, it feels like that inherently, like I need to fit myself into that archetype for the context of the reading, and that just doesn't, my brain doesn't quite do that well, and so I just don't like it. Sometimes I do, but on those occasions I can use the Pocket Archetypes. I just don't feel like this is one, it doesn't excite me, and I think that's enough. If it doesn't excite me, what's the point, right? So I think our time is done. As cool as it is, the Citadel Oracle, it is really a cool deck. Okay. This is one that has worked its way in and out of my timeout bin as well. It's the Threadbound Oracle. I want to say I almost rehomed it last year and then pulled it out because for Dawn Michelle's Weaver's practice, it's been a kind of story theme throughout the year. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something I can use. And I have not. It's just another one, it does not excite me to use. I love the art style. I love the art style generally. I don't love the art style as a reading for myself. And I think it's, like, it just feels a little too modern, and that has a very specific time and place for me. But I do love the keywords on this. The only thing I am thinking is bringing this deck to work and letting it be a deck I keep there. Since there is this like story library, the library theme to it, and it's based off of books. So that could be interesting, and like readings about work, that is where kind of the more modern feeling decks feel right. And so this could be really good there, actually. And the color, I love all the color. And that is something, like, if it's a deck I'm using at work, it must feel fun and colorful. Since I'm in the children's library, you know? And I think this fits the bill. So maybe, you know, I feel good about that. I think this is gonna go to work for the occasions that I ever want to pull cards or my coworkers want to. I've got a little basket that's just like open for us all to use, if we so please. So I think this could make its entry there. I think that'd be good. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna actually put it right into my work bag. Oh no! My camera is overheating. Let's get going. The Lost Hollow Tarot. Really cool. Completely red and black. It's got this fun, like, I don't know what you would call it. Not steampunk. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. It's got an interesting vibe to it that is different than anything else I have. Is it a vibe I am ever looking for, though? No, I don't think so. I really like the red and black, and I used it quite a bit last fall. But now that I got the horror tarot this year that has that red to it as well, I just found I really enjoyed that one more than I enjoyed this, because I think that one is more a style of art that I really like. This just isn't something I would tend to go for. I do love the cardstock on this, though. There's something about it that feels really, like, soft and nice. Oh, and now we're losing battery. Oh, okay, we're falling apart. Hold on a second. Okay. And so, yeah. I don't love, like, limited color palette decks. It's rare I find one I enjoy. And I just don't think this is it. I don't think this is it for me. The only thing that could, like, I would consider, though, is that I do think, this just popped in my brain, the video game Cult of the Lamb, don't you think this would actually be, like, the perfect deck to pair with it? But I don't do a lot of readings around video games at all, so it's not, you know. I think this is one that's going to go into timeout. We're going to think on it, but ultimately, I just don't think it's for me, as cool as it is. Lost Hollow. Okay, last but not least, we've got the cats, gods, goddesses, deities, and demons. This is a cool deck. I really like the, like, running press setup like this. Did I not even unbox this? Wait. No, I could swear I did. What? Was I thinking a different deck? Oh my god, I didn't even take this out of the plastic. That's so bad. I didn't know. I was thinking this was a completely different deck. I thought I did a walkthrough of this. Whoa. Okay, never mind. Putting that back. We're gonna open that. No, we're not gonna put it back. That's gonna go in the tasks. Open tasks. Wow. What did I think that was? There was another running press deck that was cats, and I could swear that's what it was. RP Mystic Cat Oracle. What was it? What in the world? Oh, nope. I had it mixed up with the US Games Cat Mythos and Magic Oracle. That's right. Okay, so never mind. We have to obviously get to know this oracle. I thought it was the Cat Mythos and Magic. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing there. Disregard. Okay, well, so that means we're done though. Hooray. So that's now everything. We did it in 4 parts. Everything that I initially kind of pulled out as like I think this can be rethought. Don't hold me to it. But we might be doing a deck collection. If I can get it together. Maybe. But other than that, I hope you're having a great day so far. And I'll see you again very soon.